Welcome to the Part 1 tutorial for how to use Turnitin.com. In this tutorial, we're going to go over everything you need to know to get the ball rolling and start using this awesome web-based software. So why exactly do we need Turnitin.com as teachers? First of all, it helps us check students' work for originality, meaning did they just copy and paste from their lab partner's lab report? Did they borrow someone's essay from last year and turn it in? Did they copy and paste from Wikipedia and think you wouldn't notice? All these different things are checked for in Turnitin.com. They basically give you a percentage for how original your students' work is, and you get to set that percentage and view that percentage on all their assignments. Turnitin.com also allows us to grade their work digitally, add comments, and also use Common Core-based rubrics that are already made for us. This tutorial is going to get you started with the 3 most important steps in starting to use Turnitin.com. The first thing we're going to go over is how to sign up for a Turnitin.com account. The second thing we're going to look over is how to actually create classes. And the last thing we're going to go over is how to get your students to sign themselves up for Turnitin.com. The most important thing we need to do is get you signed up for Turnitin.com. In order to do this, you need to check your Dade School's email, and around December 18th, you got an email sent to you from the Turnitin.com team. In this email, they gave you a username, which was your Dade School's email account, and they gave you a temporary password. You're going to want to copy and paste this and use this later on. So let's go ahead and get started and see what this is all about. To get started on Turnitin.com, you must first access an email that was sent to your Dade School's email address from Turnitin.com around December 18th. This is what the email should have looked like, and within the email they gave you your password right over here, which is a temporary password. They also provided you with your username, which is basically your school email address. Once you've copied the temporary password, go ahead and go to Turnitin.com. It'll take you to this home page. Type in your school email in the dialog box. The temporary password they gave you. And you'll be directed through a series of steps that you will then create a new password, create some security questions, check off their agreements, and then you'll be set to go. I've already created my own account, so it won't take me through the same process you're going to go through just yet. Once we're logged on, it's going to take you to your homepage. This is what your Turnitin.com homepage looks like. Once you've created your new password, once you've checked off the agreements, made your security questions, this is what your screen should look like. You should see Hialeah Gardens Senior High School right here in the top left. At this point, I have no classes added, and we're going to go through those steps in order to add a class on Turnitin.com, you have 2 options. You can either add a standard class, set up period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or you can sort it by preps. I'm going to go through the steps of adding a standard class first, and then we'll go through how to add it by preps. So in order to add a standard class, the first thing you have to do is click Add Class over your top right, and it gives you a couple options. In this Create a New Class dialog box, you can either create a standard class or a master class. For now, we're going to go ahead and create a standard class. You'll go ahead and give your standard class a name. And then you're going to give them a password. It could be any generic password you want to use with that class, something that you're actually going to be giving the students themselves. So in this case, we'll leave it HHS Bio 2. Click Submit, and I've just created my class. Now this information that they give you here is the information that you're going to be sharing with your students. In order for your students to log in, they're going to need both the class ID and the enrollment password. We'll get to enrolling students later. The second type of class you can add is as master classes. And master classes is where you can separate your classes by preps. So let's say you teach honors biology and regular biology, and so you want to differentiate between those two. So you can create some chunks here. You go through the same process, click Add Class over here on your right. Where it says Standard Class, we're now going to switch that to Master Class. With Master Class, you'll come up with your prep name. So in this case, I will do Honors Biology. Now, one thing to keep in mind, lots of times this is used with colleges and universities, and they have teachers' assistants who help out with their different sections. In this case, I'm just going to create a master class with a generic password only I will know. If maybe I have an intern in my class, I can share that with them so they can help me out in accessing and reviewing information on Turnitin. This information is for your master class. So for all your honors biology classes, this is the generic information. You don't want to share this with your students just yet. This is what you'll share with your TA so they can join this honors biology group per se. Now, once we've created that section, maybe we want to create another class. Let's say we want to add another master class of regular biology. So we create a master class. This time we'll type regular biology. And we'll keep the same password. Again, here's your information for that second prep you have. If you have a third prep, you can go ahead and do that again. Add class, master class, type the name of your third prep, type a password, and you're set to go. And if you happen to have a fourth prep, you can keep on adding so you'll have all your preps here. Now, once you have all of your preps on your class menu, what you want to do is start adding individual sections. This will be your different periods for each of those individual preps. So let's go ahead and click here, Add Section. What we're presented with step 1 here is creating a TA's information login. Now, since we don't have TAs, what I have done is just use my own information as a login. Just so I can proceed to the next step. Now, step 2 is where you're actually going to name that individual class. You no longer want to name it Honors Biology because you have different periods of Honors Biology. So once you're in this master class of Honors Biology, if periods 2, 4, and 6 are Honors Biology, all you have to do is type in period 2, and you'll give them their own enrollment password. Click Submit. And this is the information that you're going to share with your Period 2 Honors Biology class. You want to make sure you give them the class ID, and you also want to make sure you give them the enrollment password. Click Continue. Now you can see here within Honors Biology, I have one section, Period 2. I can go ahead and add another section in here. Same information. Now I'm going to go ahead and name my second Honors Biology class, Period 4, and I'll give them a generic password. This is the information that I'm going to share with my Period 4 Honors Biology class, their class ID, as well as their enrollment password. If I wanted to add a section to my regular biology, I'll go ahead and add section, keep the names the same. Submit. This is the information I would give my Period 1 regular biology class to log into Turnitin.com. So as you can see here, I have my different sections separated out: regular biology, honors biology, forensics. If I wanted to add even more, I could. Can add assignments either to individual classes themselves or the individual periods. Okay, right now we're going to go ahead and go over how to actually sign up your students on Turnitin.com. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. Go ahead and log into your page. Now, as soon as you log in, you're presented with all the classes that you've just created. Now, none of these classes have any students in them. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to add students. In order to do that, you have to actually click on an individual class. Okay. Once you're in that individual class, if you look up at the top tabs, gives you a couple options. What you want to do is go to where it says students. When you click on students, you have a few options here. One of the options you can do is add each student individually. This is going to take you a long time. You have to type their name, first name, last name, their email, submit, and do this for every single student in the class. And we know we don't have a lot of time on our hands, so this is probably not the method you're going to want to use. So you can go ahead and go back to period 2. Go ahead and click students again. And now we're back to this page. So the next thing that you can do is upload a student list. If you have all your students' first names, last names, and email addresses on an Excel document, you can actually upload that file, click choose file, upload the file, and then upload the list, and it'll upload all those students into your class for you. Again, unless you already have this list created in an Excel or Word document, it's probably not the easiest route to go. The best way to add students to your individual class is to go ahead and let them do it themselves. And in order to do this, what you're going to have to do is present them with those class IDs and passwords that were given to you. So what we're going to do right now is we'll go ahead and look at the class ID, which is right here, 7449836. You would have written this on the board, put it up on the Promethean board with the password for that period 2 class. And the password for that class was biology 2. So I'm going to go ahead and log out as a teacher, and I'm going to go ahead and join as a student. Now, in order to join as a student, you have to create an account. So your students would go to Turnitin.com, they would click create an account, and what they want to do is come down to the bottom over here where it says student. Now, if your students already have an account, there's going to be a different set of steps. They will come right up here. So the first thing we're going to go over is for those students who have never used Turnitin.com. They do not have an account. They don't have any teachers who have them enrolled in an account, and you're the first ones getting them started. So what they're going to do is go ahead and click here where it says student. This is the part where that information you provided with them on the Promethean board comes into play. What they need to do here is go ahead and type in the class ID for period 2 biology, the enrollment password that you provided them with. They would go ahead and type in their first name, their last name, and they would also go ahead and submit their email address. Down here, they'll go ahead and create their own password. They create a security question. Read through the agreement. And then they agree and create their profile. So now, as a student, I am enrolled in Honors Biology Period 2. If a student already has a Turnitin.com account, all they have to do is add a class to their homepage. In order to do this, they just need to log in right up here using their credentials. Go ahead and log in. Go ahead and sign in. And then they're brought to their homepage. So as a student, this is my homepage. This is what I see. I'm only enrolled in one class so far. If another teacher has given me some information about another class to enroll in, all I would do is go ahead and come over here where it says enroll class. And I would go ahead and submit that information right here. So the new class ID I got from my language arts teacher, my social studies teacher, I would put right here. I would put in their password, hit submit, and that class would come up on my homepage. And there you go. You're all set and ready to use Turnitin.com in your classroom. The Part 2 tutorial will be coming soon. It will go over how to create assignments for different classes, how to review originality reports, how to use the grading and comment tools, as well as discussion boards and the rubrics. This PowerPoint, as well as this video, will be available on Edmodo in the group HCHS, Growing in the Gardens Professional Development Group. If you haven't joined Edmodo, you better get on it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Dr. Lewis or Ms. Donahue via email, and we'll be seeing you soon in the Part 2 tutorial.